The woman had been married for 5 years, yet she had never once seen her mother-in-law. She only followed her husband's instructions, bringing a bowl of plain rice every day to the ancestral hall where his mother supposedly lived alone, then returning an hour later to pick up the empty bowl. But that day, when she came to collect the bowl as usual, she suddenly noticed a lipstick mark on it. She stared at it in confusion. Her mother-in-law was over 60 and would never wear lipstick. Driven by curiosity, she decided to step inside the room, but just as she got close, her husband rushed out looking flustered. Seeing her, he impatiently demanded to know why she hadn't left yet. He repeated that his mother had a rash and couldn't see anyone. Before she could speak, he pulled her away roughly. But the more her husband acted like this, the more suspicious she became. From then on, she secretly watched his every move. After several nights of observing, she discovered that her husband would sneak to the ancestral hall every night while she slept and stay there for hours, returning with a strange expression on his face. She became certain there was a secret hidden inside that hall. So when her husband left, she quietly approached the door. Through a crack, she saw clearly the person she had served for 5 years was not her mother-in-law, but a young woman. To avoid alarming them, she didn't confront the woman directly. Instead, she tried hinting to her husband, but every time she mentioned it, he walked away impatiently, unable to tolerate it anymore. She decided to enter the hall herself, but just then her husband rushed over, shoving her hard, warning her never to go near that door again. She was about to argue, when suddenly a frail elderly voice came from the room, telling them not to fight, and saying it was her own fault, that she couldn't see anyone. The voice sounded exactly like her mother-in-law. For a moment, the woman hesitated, wondering if she had misunderstood her husband. Her husband quickly tried to pull her home, but at that moment, she suddenly noticed a scratch on his neck. He hurried to explain, saying his mother had pinched him, but at this point, she no longer believed him, because no mother would scratch her son's neck like that. Flustered, he pushed her away and fled. As she picked up the ancestral hall key he had dropped, a plan formed in her mind. That night she returned to the hall. Inside, her husband was massaging the young woman. Hearing their laughter through the door, she couldn't hold back her tears. She never imagined he had really been hiding another woman there, and she herself had been feeding her for 5 years. She packed her things that night, ready to leave, but before leaving, she had to expose him. When her husband heard, he fought with her furiously, and in anger, he slapped her hard. Since the truth was already out, she no longer held back. She said she would tell the village head, but before she could, a villager ran up in a panic, saying something had happened at the ancestral hall, and her husband needed to go right away. Her husband turned pale, and rushed there with the villagers. As they prepared to break down the door, he suddenly blocked them, refusing to let anyone in. The woman had reached her limit, demanding to know who was living inside. To her shock, her husband fell to his knees, begging her not to open the door, saying if she opened it, their family would be ruined. But she felt no sympathy. She pulled out the key, saying that with the whole village watching, she would expose him today. The villagers stepped up, urging her to open it, saying the village would take responsibility. Under her husband's desperate gaze, she unlocked the door. What she saw inside was something she would never forget in her lifetime.